Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. This is KidNate at BloodyElbow.com, joined once again by Eugene S. Robinson, not a medical doctor, but the author of Fight Everything You Ever Wanted. Well, you're wearing a doctor's coat here. Author of Fight Everything You Ever Wanted about ass kicking, but we're afraid you get your ass kicked for asking. What's up with the gi?
We have been forced to buy sex addicts gis.
Sex addicts gis. All right.
I can't think of what else the SA would stand for.
San Antonio?
Or maybe some would say Sorrel Academy, but I'm just going to go for sex addict.
I see. Sex addict. Well,
it strikes fear in the hearts of your opponents when they know that they could get tapped or they could get tapped.
I see. Is that a priest collar you're wearing underneath your gi?
Yeah, a surplice. Yes, I actually, because I am a rector.
A rector? What's that mean? You sent off for
I damn near killed her.
Oh, this is kind of, you can't get material like this off the Fat Jew's Instagram.
That's right. You have to say Instagram right after you say Fat Jew because
because I'm referring to a specific comedian who's accused of plagiarism and just signed a multi-gazillion-dollar deal with Creative Artists Agency. So
how do you like that? How does that feel?
Hey, to he that hath shall be given. That's how I feel about that.
To he that hath not apparently shall be given.
Now to he that hath not shall be taken, even to the last jot and tittle, I believe.
I love the jot and tittle part, but you know something? He perfectly embodies this file sharing ethos that has so poisoned the world from Snowden to Assange.
So your beef with Snowden is ultimately about file sharing. How do you feel about the CIA agent who blew the whistle on torture but went to jail? He's the only guy involved in the CIA torture scandal that went to jail, and it was for whistleblowing on the people who actually tortured. So he wasn't involved in file sharing. So you still hate him?
No, because the idea is that everybody should have information about everything at all times with no sanction or no break. And that, that's a very disappointing way to live through life, as millions of Ashley Madison subscribers are discovering right about now. But in this case, he's joking. I tell his wife it's a joke.
No joke. But the Kid Nate email has been subscribed to every piece of fucking spam on earth, and they don't do any verification at Ashley Madison. So
yeah, right. Exactly.
I haven't confirmed it, but I guarantee you, kidnate@gmail.com is an Ashley Madison subscriber.
Is that patented? That excuse? Is that?
No, it's not an excuse. I mean, I didn't say.
Do I have to license it from?
Do I have to separately? I just said that Kid Nate is going to be in there for sure.
Do I have to license it from you to use it? Because it's a good one.
No, everybody can use it because everybody already uses kidnate@gmail.com for all kinds of things. I recently had to empty it of like 50,000 spam emails because I'd never actually checked that account. It forwards. Anyway, this is all. We need to tell people what we're doing.
The fart fetish form, the fart fetish porn. That's you.
Now the fart gun that was seized by TSA. Did you hear about that yesterday? The TSA took away a fart gun from a 3-year-old. It's apparently it's a gun from that a Despicable Me character, and so the TSA is keeping you safe by taking away fart guns from 3-year-olds. Which I'm sure if you had a 3-year-old with a fart gun, you're like, thank God somebody took that. Awfully. But we are here for the Care Don't Care preview of Sunday night's UFC Fight Night, Holloway versus Oliveira, a very important fight in the featherweight division. What's your care level?
It's pretty fucking low.
Yeah. All right. Give us a disclaimer, and then we can talk about the care.
For all of you cry babies and bedwetters, work shy individuals, this is the Care Don't Care preview. It has less to do with your skills or talents as a fighter or a human being, and much more to do with the marketing heft and the weight that the UFC or whatever fight organization we have to be talking about has put behind you. It is possible to move from the don't care to the care column, but by fighting a good fight, but it's probably unlikely. Do not.
And also talking some good trash.
Yeah, right. Well, that'll get you on. So don't get your feelings hurt. Just if they're not going to do it for you, do it for yourself. Don't take it personally. Cry baby.
Right. Excellent. Well done. Now, you were saying something about something, but let's jump into the fights, and I'm sure you'll come up with something else to talk about. And
we were talking about free information all the time, and I was telling you the guy the CIA guy who's in jail, he wasn't giving away trade secrets nearly as much as he was revealing illegal activity.
The activity Snowden revealed have been determined to be illegal by courts as well.
It was later determined by courts to be illegal.
Courts declared that what the NSA was doing was illegal, and they have supposedly changed their practices.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So, I mean, to me,
so why is he now a fugitive from justice?
Well, why is the CIA guy in jail? Nobody ever said torture was legal. Because we live in a society that has determined that it's not the crime that's the crime; it's the talking about the crime that's the crime. So that's more my issue than information is free. So I mean,
I think it comes from the same root, because you're either sanctioning secrets, or not. Whether or not those secrets are about illegal behaviors, it's a good chance they might be. Whether it is kind of a secondary issue to me. As the primary issue being, are we a society that understands the value of a secret? And as we know, Hitler said there are 3 types, right?
We are only 4 minutes in, and we got to Adolf. So apologies. That's what I wanted to do. 2 apologies. 1, we didn't mention Hitler or Nazis in the entire first episode of If I Did It. So sorry,
that's on you guys.
They're
never very far from my mind.
You're the go-to on the crypto Nazi. So
in any case, they're the kind of
no knuckle up. So you've got some splaining to do on the knuckle up. So if you want to mention that,
I had to tap out to the show, man. I mean, it's now, if it's midnight and I got 4 hours of sleep the night before, and I got the whole show, and I'm about to load it up, and I'm getting an error message. I go, this is not fucking working. Okay, I got to go through iPhoto to get it down, because image importer is not working. iPhoto is taking 2 hours. Now we're talking, it's 2 in the morning.
Is the show lost to the ages, or does it still exist?
It was on my phone until yesterday.
And you deleted it.
Yeah, it was causing my phone.
That's the crime. That's the crime.
Yeah, but it's like having a locked box with no key. What's the point? It's just.
I see. So, well, I'm sure our team of elite hackers, the Bloody Elbow hackers, could have gotten it off your phone had you simply.
Yeah. They could have gotten that off my phone and a lot of other stuff they don't need to see. My boss at one point grabbed my phone for something, and he's like flipping through photos, and I said, "Hey, man, in a few seconds, one of us is going to be very embarrassed."
I see. Congressman Weiner. How about a hand for Congressman Weiner?
Right? Yeah. No, hey, you'd be lucky if it was Weiner stuff, man.
Because he kept his shorts on. As long as it's not Gerald Fogel at Subway, that's
you might see faces you recognize.
Faces? If you're seeing faces, how bad can it be?
You won't see my face.
Well,
you'll see a part of me, but you won't be my face.
I see. That is a lovely thought picture there.
Now you're uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable. I was trying to make a Gerald Fogel joke, and you stomped all over it.
Oh, no. See, I don't joke about Fogel. Fuck that guy.
Well, did you hear what the asshole? He wasn't just looking at porn. He was actually screwing underage girls. That came out today.
Paying them $100.
Complete scumbag. Now they're going to get $100,000 each. So
the girls?
Yeah. And he's going to get 12 years in prison. So
he pled out on that, right?
Oh yeah, he pled out, and I'm sure he's ratting out all his buddies.
But I didn't hear what the sentencing was gonna. Is he looking at 12 years or more?
I believe the thing I just glanced at it on Gawker. I think it said something like 7.5 to 12.5 years. So
will they be protecting him in prison though?
I would think so. I mean, I think most of your kiddie porn, your short eye guys go straight into the special protections ward. But
you know what color their jumpers are?
I don't know. What are they? A big target on the back?
No, I can't remember.
Pink?
They're either protective custody or either brown or yellow. I'm sure our listeners, the repeat customers among our listeners, could fill us in on this. But yeah, either brown or yellow. I'm not remembering quite clearly myself.
I see. Well, that's a charming picture you paint. Sharpen those shanks, boys, and be on the lookout for brown and yellow jumpers.
Well,
anyway, not that we would advocate that kind of vigilante justice.
Well, that's what somebody said in an interesting way. They said that if you get busted for weed, should anal rape be part of your sentence?
Apparently, that comes with a package for virtually any felony crime or any serious crime in the U.S.
No matter what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, like a speeding ticket in the county jail, you got a good chance. Everyone I've talked to who's experienced the prison system, one of my old bosses said that the further you got into it, the better it got. He said by the time he was in maximum security federal prison, he was like, fuck, I got a color TV. Nobody bothers me. I got a library. This is great.
Yeah, federal prison is supposed to be all right.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's well off topic. Let's get to it. We got UFC Fight Pass. I believe these fights start at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday. So if you're watching WWE SummerSlam, this is going to be cutting right into your cartoon action with Jon Stewart hosting WWE SummerSlam. What do you think of that, Eugene?
Hold up. I thought that was a joke.
I don't believe it's a joke. I believe it's serious.
Until this very moment, I thought that was a joke. Jon Stewart goes from the Jon Stewart Show to WWE?
From the Daily Show to just hosting one
show. Not a joke?
Not a joke.
That's fucking... God damn it.
Why not? I mean, it's a fun gig. He only has to do it once. His beef with doing the Daily Show is it was every night, 4 nights a week for 15 years.
You know what? This guy...
SummerSlam is once, and it seems like it would be funny shit.
MTV game show about tampons, and then he does the serious shit for like 8 years, and now he's back.
What's wrong with doing SummerSlam? It's like fun. It's like doing a puppet show for kids or something. What's like... You're too good to do showbiz?
It's like doing a puppet show for kids with your penis. That's what it's like.
It's not like that at all because you'd go to jail for doing a puppet show.
Jon Stewart should go to jail for this.
You pro wrestling haters. Like, you didn't ever like pro wrestling when you were a kid?
When I liked pro wrestling, it was 1969.
So it was still garbage.
Strongbow. Yeah, you know how old I was in 1969?
You were like 40 then, right?
Yeah, I was 40 then. 40.
You were 30, right? 30 and 67?
You got one. Yeah. Anyway, Hitler. 3 times.
You're the same age as Frankie Valli and Elvis, right? No?
I
but seriously, what's the difference between liking pro wrestling when you're 7 in 1969 and liking pro wrestling when you're 7 in 2015?
When you're 7, that's pretty much fine. That's pretty much fine. Jon Stewart's not 7 though.
Well, I mean, it's still fun. Bob Mould of Husker Du wrote a lot of wrestling scripts. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that, actually.
Yeah. So anyway, I prefer Grant Hart myself, but I don't hold any grudge.
Grant Hart was much creepier and much more predatory in his sexual practices.
He creeped on me when we went to see Husker Du in Lubbock, Texas on Easter, actually. But he didn't get very far because he could see we were goober idiots, and there was like a pack of 12 of us. So he came to our hotel room. Like, they were really cool and told that one of us was underage, and they told the bar people that was his cousin and got us in and everything. But then he and another dude like showed up, slurked around, like checked on our hotel room before the show. But we were like wrestling and body slamming. We had already destroyed one of the beds.
Were you guys naked or were you clothed?
No, we were just high-spirited, hetero meathead idiots. Really? And so somebody had body slammed somebody else into the bed. And so he knocks on the door, and he's, my buddies were these hulking brutes, and they're, literally had just slammed one guy into the bed and collapsed the whole bed. And he was like, well, you guys have fun at the show. And left, Well,
what was the bass player's name?
Greg Norman. With the mustache.
Norton or Norman?
Norman. Now you got, it might be Norton. Anyway, something like that. Norman, what's the difference?
Those guys were all really nice to me except for him for whatever reason.
Really? He pulled toot on you.
He tried to bash my head in.
He tried to bash your head in. Well, maybe he knew something.
We played several shows with them. And then I was like, man, I'm a big Husker Du fan. I want to get right up to the stage here. And I'm right up on the stage, and the guy's just glaring at me the whole show. It's like, what? I didn't do anything to him. And he keeps diving with his bass closer and closer. And
were you the only black guy there?
I don't know anything about that. But
he's from Minnesota.
Yeah, well, then I start thinking about the time Flea tried to run me down, and I did the same thing. I made the decision. I was gonna take whatever life was, because he kept getting closer and closer with the bass. And rather than move, I just kind of relaxed and go, if it's going to happen, it happens. And he got like an inch away, and I just stood there and looked at him. I said, I don't know why you're doing it, but it serves a purpose. I'm down, And he just stopped and backed off. Never found out why what that was about at all. But I've been waiting to see him in person to ask him again.
I wonder if he still has a mustache. I hear he's a chef these days.
His wife's got some money, and they opened up a place there, and I think he does still have the mustache.
Well, you got a mustache like that. It's a trademark. You got to stick with it. Unlike my trademark Chester Arthur, which I keep shaving off. But anyway, let's get to the fights. We got 2 fights on UFC Fight Pass preliminary card. First up, light heavyweight Misha Kirkonov and Daniel Jolly.
I like Jolly's last name, but I don't give a fuck about this fight.
Yeah, I don't care either. All right, lightweight Shane Campbell and Elias Silverio.
I don't give a fuck about that fight.
I don't either.
Hey, look what I got.
Dynamite, the Bellator Glory kickboxing card. That's coming up September 19th.
The fact that I have these in my hand right now means that Scott Coker is working it, baby.
I see, because they got distributed. What is it in Santa Cruz or something, or San Jose? Where's the card?
It's at the SAP Center, which I believe is what the stadium in San Jose. There used to be the HP Pavilion, and
so that's where the Strikeforce shows used to be. That's his old home base.
Yep.
Should be a fun card, although there's some politics going on there. If you notice, they're calling it Bellator Dynamite, not mentioning Glory very pointedly. So,
well, no, you're wrong about that. We don't have to do this.
They're mentioning it on that card. I'm saying that we're getting emails from their PR people saying, "Don't call it Glory."
I got it.
So come on,
don't call it a comeback.
Don't exactly. All right. So moving on to the Fox Sports 1 card. All the fights from here on in are on Fox Sports 1. 4-fight prelim card, although that's a meaningless distinction. Flyweights: Chris Kalades and Chris Beal.
No, sorry.
No. All right. You're going to care about this one. Light heavyweight Marcos Rogerio de Lima versus Nikita Krylov.
Yeah, I care about that.
Yeah,
Al Capone. Don't call me Scarface. Yeah,
the kid's a star. He's not that great a fighter, but he's a star. You care about Nikita Krylov. He's only 23, and I believe he's 3-1 in the UFC.
Yep.
No, 3-2 in the UFC. So 2-fight win streak, and
well, see, he's an interesting case of, there's the cart and the horse and the cart. I mean, well, no, I'm okay. I'm all right.
The show's over here, Eugene.
Yeah, one of the guys who trains here is a cop, and he just kind of came up to the window and he started making weird hand gestures.
Like he's going to tase you?
Something, and then I think he was saying, "Do you want a drink?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'm going to take a drink from you." Next thing I know, I get popped or something. Where's all this cocaine come from in your Coca-Cola?
Can't be too careful with the police.
So
anyway,
he's a good example of the horse and the cart. Like, how much do you want to lead your shot? I mean, they're not sukajuing the guy, but they're letting him develop in a nice way. I mean, 3-2 is, and nobody's talking about cutting him. That's all right.
Well, it's not like we're privy to Joe Silva's conversations about who to keep and who to cut, but it seems like with the 2-fight win streak, he's at least safe for now.
Well, it's also, you know what? I think that secretly that they also want to maintain a handhold in Russia. As just a
this rumor is they're about to sign Fedor Emelianenko, or they're in talks with him. So.
Yeah. I wonder about this. I'm not thinking about it, and I'm not thinking about it in the same way that I'm not thinking about erectile dysfunction or Anderson Silva. It's just these are things that I just choose not to think about.
I see. Because you're so excited about him, or you're.
Look, at one point, I was trying to screw this woman, right?
And ED reared its ugly head.
No, it's got nothing to do with it. This is back in the 80s. This is back in the 80s.
I don't know what's going on, baby. This has never happened to me before. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I heard that's what you're supposed to say.
When people used to have to say stuff like that because they had no backup, right? So at one point, I'm trying
before the little blue pill. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to. Well, they had this thing called sildenafil, which is in the pill. But in that time, they were injections into your penis. That's what people were working on. So
yeah, have I ever told you about a district attorney from my hometown who got into a drug habit, and I think he was busted for stealing a couple $100,000 worth of cocaine from the evidence locker down at the county seat. But at one point, his secretary peeped. For a while, he was running the DA's office like a crack house, like with the blinds down and everything. And at one point, allegedly, the secretary walked in on him, and he was injecting his cock with some kind of homemade amphetamine Viagra concoction he'd made himself.
You see, man, you start not sleeping, your ideas become increasingly unsound.
That's what they all say.
Yeah.
This could be revolutionary work.
So I don't remember so I'm trying to screw this woman, right?
Okay.
And she says, "Do you know?"
You had erectile dysfunction.
No, you're missing the point. You want to focus on that. That's not the point. The point is, I said try. I didn't even actually succeed in screwing her. So that's it. So she said, "Do you know David Trout? David Dante Trout?" And I said, "Yeah. He's kind of a friend of mine. Now, other friends of mine have been at the same point in the conversation, and they could tell somebody's about to talk shit about me, and they go, no, 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 Eugene is a friend of mine. I don't want to hear it. But I say, wait, wait, wait. David is a friend of mine. Tell me all about it. And she goes,
Class, Eugene.
Look at this letter he sent me. And she showed me this letter, and David was a good writer, so I was excited sort of to read the letter, and it was the most mawkish, fucked up thing ever. And at that point, it dawned on me that there's some things that other men shouldn't know, couldn't know, wouldn't want to know. I did not need to read his hackneyed letter trying to get laid. It was terrible, and I feel that way about Anderson Silva, man. I don't know what kind of defense this was.
Was that not feeble as all get out? Like going to the Nevada State Athletic Commission and coming up with, my buddy who had been in Thailand gave me some pills and I don't need them, but I took it for sexual enhancement. And it was just I mean, it was worse than Alistair Overeem's quack with the big needle that said anti-inflammatory on it. I mean,
I just, what a fucking way to go out. Is that, I mean, I can't wish that. I can't wish that on Frank Mir. I can't wish that on anybody.
What's wrong with Frank Mir besides he's just a weaselly creep?
And that sentence ends right there. I just take off the question mark and we're done.
What about Anthony Rumble Johnson? Did you hear about his yoga mat rant that he posted on Facebook?
No.
You got to read it. It's an ugly one. He threatened to rip the yoga mat out from under her again. Apparently some woman came into the lifting area of his gym and started set up her yoga mat and started stretching. And he took offense and yanked the yoga mat out from under her, threw it away, and then posted a rant on Facebook calling her names and saying he'd do it again. It wasn't his worst moment because no allegations of violence, but
stupid. Really fucking stupid.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you're the one who put that thing up from Gawker, which was a great piece, which I immediately gave to my daughters about D. Barnes. D. Barnes might have a few things to say about billionaires. You know, I'd like to hear from D. Barnes. You know, straight out of Compton, huh? You know?
Yeah, this is the woman that was assaulted allegedly by Dr. Dre.
As tough as these guys are, there's not a single incident on record of them beating a man.
Does Eazy-E count?
What man did Eazy-E beat up?
No, I'm talking about them beating up Eazy-E.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Eazy-E. I think, yeah, he's a man. But that's
my size. I mean, would I count as a man? I'm 5'5", half blind.
Nah. Hey, Klaus Fluoride, bass player for the Dead Kennedys, who used to produce our record, would go into bars, stir up shit, and when things got heated, step off of his bar stool, all 5'4" of him, and say, "Are you gonna beat me up? What is that gonna prove?"
It's a good go-to.
Yeah, genius, man.
It's worked for me many times, and when it doesn't work, you just got to count on your turtle move and your you know, how good is your.
It's Fred Eddish.
Yeah, how good is your Fred Eddish had a terrible turtle, I got to say, crawling across the cage. Anyway, so we're well off topic. Let's get back on the topic. So we've got bantamweights, Felipe Arantes and Yves Jaboun.
Yeah, I care.
I do too. I've been sucked into the Yves carrying thing, although I think he's past his sell-by date.
Nah. I like Yves, but not because I'm sucked in by anything other than gratitude.
So you don't trust him? Is that what you're saying? How can you not trust this guy? Look at his win-loss record over his last loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. This is a guy you can count on. This guy to get in there and finish the fight. Mostly.
You know, it's almost in my crazier moments, I can see him sitting around at home going, "Man, what did Eugene say? I gotta fuck him again on this one." I know his kid's going to college and he needs the money, but if I could just get another 50 out of him.
See, how would he make money just by fucking your predictions? See,
I don't know. I don't know.
I see. Is he working with Henry Hill on some kind of point shaving scheme?
So, Bovada, these guys have worked something out. So you know, I bet through Bovada, and then immediately, like I bet Bovada Saturday day. By Monday, American Express had called me and said, "We're closing down your credit card because there's been so much fraud, so many fraud attempts." So I don't bet through Bovada anymore.
I see. Well, that's good. You know, I use my credit card at the library to make an 80-cent fucking copy purchase because I wanted to print something up. and my card got swiped and stolen immediately.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's because like a little old lady wrote it down in pencil and set it behind the desk. And you know how many homeless people are in and out of the library? I was like,
oh, there we go. There we go.
What? Like, so I'm supposed to blame the librarian? Because I
Yeah.
can't handle that. She's such a sweet little old lady. Like, I don't want to think that the librarians can't be trusted.
You know, they were after this 8-year-old girl got raped, murdered, and killed out here. People who lived in the apartment complex worked with my drummer, and they were like, "Oh, you know, the homeless people hanging out by the embankment, the homeless people this."
It was a kid that lived in the complex, right? A 15-year-old?
Yeah, my drummer said it's not going to be any stranger. It's going to be somebody that she knows. And it turned out to be a 15-year-old kid in the complex who wondered what it would be like to kill somebody.
Well, that's awful, and I'm glad they caught him early.
To be tried as an adult. So now we know. He was a yo-yo champion. Apparently, he used to delight all the kids in the apartment complex with his yo-yo tricks.
I see. Well, see, that's the thing. Now people hate entertainers or children. Like, people are immediately, oh, he's a clown? Fuck that creep. What's wrong with him? You know?
Pretty much any adult, non-custodial adult male that desires to spend time around children, in my mind.
This is a 14-year-old, though, when he was doing the yo-yo tricks. Like, how sinister can that be?
Oh, you mean the rapist killer, that guy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Obviously, he turned out to be sinister,
I'm not trusting any teenage boy for shit.
Oh no.
This woman I know, her parents had a 16-year-old boy from the neighborhood babysit her and her brother. Guy raped them for an entire year.
Jesus Christ. That is terrible. So anyway, Yves Jabun is a gict. You care? Do you have a pick?
Yeah, I'm picking the other guy.
Okay.
And that's how Eve is like, hot dog. All right. Okay.
Felipe is in for a beating.
Yep.
He's just coming with the vengeance. All right. Now we've got a gict. I don't even know if he's a gict. A guy I can't stand. Lightweight Sam Stout versus Frankie Perez. Do you care?
Yeah, we care.
But yeah. Although it has a sad, Sam Stout, as much as I never liked him, is now a shadow of his former self.
Which is, yeah, but that's a trick. See, that's a trick. You know,
is it? You think he's like going to knock it? It's not like he's fighting.
That's what I call a Miller Crossing trick. You know,
there was lots of tricks in Miller Crossing. Which one are you talking about?
You're hot, so you gotta let me go. You know, I'm not falling for it, Sam. I just can't, man. I want to feel sorry for you, but I just cannot.
I don't even want to feel sorry for him.
Which means I am. I'm resisting this human impulse to feel sorry for the guy.
I'm far enough on the sociopath spectrum, and I took a quiz online the other day, and that I don't care. Ice cold in these veins.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, yeah, that's all right. That's all right. You and Ted Bundy, I got it.
I'm not in that league. You know, Ted Bundy apologized to his fiance because he had disposed of so many bodies in her fireplace. So
what?
Yeah, he had chopped up.
That smells like bullshit to me.
Now this was in his final confessions. He said that there were a number of bodies he chopped up and cooked in her chimney, and he sent a message. He said, "And if she reads this, I want her to know I'm really sorry about that. That was terrible."
You know how much. You know how hard it is to actually burn a human body? Did she spend a lot of time not at home?
Apparently not. Didn't keep a close enough eye on Ted. I would have to say. I think we can all agree.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
That she didn't keep a close enough eye on Ted. Although I don't know if that's possible, but you know. So speaking of ice cold, conscienceless bastards, Keith Richards actually said he felt bad about not being there when Brian Jones drowned the other day. But then he quickly backpedaled too. But I mean, chaperoning a grown man, who the fuck is supposed to do that? And plus, with that guy, you never knew where he was or what he was doing. So that, you know,
he's right. He's fucking right.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Jones did plenty of awful things, and you know, was always.
No, I had a guy, you know, our video guy I talked about, and the guy OD'd. He tried 4 nights in a row, tried to kill himself for fun. He told me well before he started down that road. He was like, "I have enough to do it now, Eugene." I go, "What are you talking about?" Got enough heroin, you know? It's like, I'm not going to get drawn into this thing. I just said, man, living is a choice I make. I can't make that choice for you, you know? So if you need my help with anything, let me know, but I'm not begging you to stay alive. You know, little did I know that I didn't know the guy's gonna kill himself. But in the end, fundamentally, I'm not bearing any responsibility for this. I don't. And then if I do, so what? And what? You know.
Someday you might come knocking at a door, and there might be a list of bad things.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not going to be on the list. Or if it is, it's very low on the list, given the other bad things that are there. You know?
Yeah, me too.
It's not going to make or break things for me.
Yeah, I doubt letting Brian Jones die is the worst thing on Keith Richards' list.
Right.
So letting his baby Tara die would probably be higher up there. Anyway,
what?
You don't know about this? Keith Richards and Anita Pallenberg had like a 3-month-old baby that died.
No, I don't remember that. And I'm not a big fan. So what happened? How'd the kid die?
Well, Keith went on tour and Anita was a junkie. Do the math. Crib death.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You saw Trainspotting, right? I mean, you know, it's probably crawling on the ceiling and the whole bit. Anyway.
All right.
So now we get to the main card. We're both picking Sam Stout to lose, right?
Yes.
Okay. Me too.
I cannot trust him.
Yeah, no. All right, so we got women's strawweight, Marina Moroz versus Valerie Letourneau.
Yeah, we've talked about Letourneau before, and I think that last fight where I said I did not care, she actually won. Is that right?
Let me pull it up. Let me pull her up. The only thing I remember about her is she's got the same last name as that teacher who went to prison for screwing.
That's why we were joking about her last time.
Yeah, so she's got a 2-fight UFC winning streak going, although both were decisions.
So now I care again. I mean, I was initially, capping on her last name, but I care. And how about this? How about bold move? Since I've doubted her before, I will pick her to win.
Wow. That's I don't know. I can't quite care about this one, but it's noted that you care and you're picking her. So, are you writing these down?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because you've been writing them down. Was that another one?
I write them down. I mean, I guess that is the total tally of how much I really care if I write them down. And so far, this is like the friend of mine who I got the credential for at the UFC, and I look at his sheet, and it's got 2 words on it: monkey punch. There's what I've written down.
Let's see. Well done.
Well, I know. Unless I was drunk, I'm not picking Sam Stout. So, unless I'm drunk right now, I'm not picking Jaboon. I'm picking the opposite. So a lot of times it's very easy for me to figure this stuff out.
I see. Well, let's keep moving. Lightweights.
For our comic book fans out there, could somebody tell me when Captain Marvel became a woman?
That happened a while ago. And my bigger beef with Captain Marvel is Captain Marvel used to be Shazam. That's the real Captain Marvel.
That was a whole legal thing there with Rick. But then when he became Marvel's Captain Marvel, he still had a dual personality.
Well, he died.
The in-betweener came in, permanently separated them, let Marvel exist. Then they had the whole Thanos thing. But then at the end of
that's when Marvel died.
Right. That's right. Yeah. The death of Marvel.
They just made her Captain Marvel.
I got it. I see.
So yeah, I too quit reading superhero comic books at some point in the 80s.
After Jim Starlin's Starlin stepped away, and I stepped away.
But then Starlin came back and made a whole series of graphic novel sets that apparently are of diminishing quality as time goes on. But
I switched from Marvel at that point to Warlock, which was sort of they had the Soul Gems, and it was sort of a continue. I followed the Soul Gems.
See, that's Starlin. That's Starlin's whole thing, and there's probably a bunch more graphic novels for you to catch up with, but I haven't. Yeah. Anyway, although I sometimes read about them, to kind of catch up with.
When I interviewed Halle Berry at one point, I got into the stupid weeds of like asking her like, fanboy comic book questions, and she just kind of looks at me and goes, like, I don't know, and I go, I'm sorry. Oh shit, I'm sorry for geeking out.
Like about Catwoman? Is this what you're asking?
No.
Don't tell me.
I said the X-Men.
Yeah, she was Storm in the X-Men, right?
Yeah, so some X-Men.
She played Catwoman too, though, didn't she?
Yeah, we didn't talk about Catwoman. Okay. Because I will accept nobody but Eartha Kitt, maybe Julie Newmar, but those are the only Catwomen I'm really willing to accept. Maybe those are the only Catwomen there were, but still. And I said something, and she was like, she looks at me, I don't know. I'm like, I said, I'm sorry for geeking out. I'm a comic book guy. She was used to read comic books. And I thought she was like, you fucking loser. And I was like, sheepishly like, yeah, I'm still in the comic book. She goes, oh man. I go, what? She goes, they were always a little too deep for me. And that was one moment where I had to bring all my journalistic fucking power to bear and not have a look on my face that were like, are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, yeah. Well,
yeah. Kierkegaard, Sartre, Starlin.
It's right up there. Chris Claremont, the X-Men. Yeah. Well, okay. Anyway, so moving right along, we haven't mentioned this fight card's going to be in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. So
I played there.
Have you? That is a long way from nowhere, isn't it?
I liked playing there.
Well, because people are excited to get some entertainment.
Exactly, and it was the first place I'd ever played where they really printed up tickets. So you had like tickets.
Wow.
And the week we showed up, some kid had just been killed. Apparently the lumberjacks, who were the bad guys then, jocks with flannel shirts on that were not
axes.
Yeah, and not Eddie Vedder, had chased some kid, punk rock kid, to beat him up around the railroad tracks, beat him up, and then left him on the tracks, and he was killed by a train. So that's what I know about Saskatoon.
I see. Sounds like a rough place. Did you ever play Lubbock, Texas?
No, I played Dallas.
Dallas totally different.
Dallas was
Nazi city.
No, my God, dude, Dallas was great for me. And if you remember the guide, great for me in a band perspective doesn't mean the show was good. It means I either got laid. I got very close to getting laid.
So Dallas is good for that. It's also a good place to get beat up by Nazis.
I didn't see any Nazis when I was there. Actually, you know what? It's funny you should mention that. There were Nazis, and people were cautioning me. And some DJ who interviewed me said, hey, he was from Houston. He was like, man, I'll be walking down the street with a white woman, and people will shoot at me. And if I look upset, they'll turn around. I was like, well, that's good. Good thing that I got a shotgun with me.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right. So moving right along, we've got lightweight Olivier Aubin-Mercier versus Tony Sims.
I don't give a fuck.
I kind of care about Aubin-Mercier just because there's hints that he's a judo guy. So
that's what I've heard, but that doesn't whatever. So
I just keep hoping for Karen Parisian's comeback, Yeah. Anyway, so you were asking about Ms. Marvel because of Ronda Rousey saying she wants to be Ms. Marvel in the movie, right?
You got it.
That would be a big movie, I think, if she did it. I mean, we're not terrible, but
But what I said on my show, on the Knuckle Up show that got canceled, is you guys don't understand. Ronda is a short termer. She's already attained escape velocity. She is no Kung Lee or Gina Carano that have to do fights to market their movies. She's a fucking celebrity. She's done. She's done.
I think her fights are big enough and she likes Dana enough that she's going to stay around and fight another year or two.
I think she likes it, but I don't think there's any real enthusiasm because those royalty checks have started to come in. And when you start getting those royalty checks, you're like, boja moi, look at that. Yeah.
But the pay-per-view percentage on like a million selling pay-per-view, if she had a good cut, which there's every reason to believe she did, that's several $million all at once.
Yeah. You know what that's called?
What's that? Tax?
That's called working.
I see. And royalties just come in.
Yeah.
I see. All right.
I met this guy in LA who was on that. I did that Miller Genuine Draft commercial. And the guy said, what do you do to me? And I said, well, I'm a journalist. He goes, oh, cool. It's cool. I go, what do you do? And he just kind of looks at me. He goes, this. I go, this? How could you do? He goes, I booked 2 commercials in a year. Man, that's $300,000, $400,000. I'm set. I live in a house. I live in a house with a bunch of other dudes. My room costs me $200 a month. Sometimes I bartend. This is it. Huh. And I kept seeing that guy in an Excedrin commercial, and the guy who can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? He's fucking rich. He's rich.
Well, he has some cash flow. That doesn't mean he's rich.
Well, it means that he is like the old blues song. he's collected over $1 million. He might have also spent that. But the Progressive Insurance woman, rich, or at least collected over $1 million. I don't know how much she's spending, but
well, bully for them. Anyway, so moving right along, lightweight Chad Laprise and Francisco Trinaldo.
I'm interested in Trinaldo.
Yeah, I kind of am too. Do you have a pick?
I'll pick Trinaldo.
Me too. All right, now here's one: welterweights. Patrick Cote versus Josh Berkman. Is this 2007 or what?
Yeah. I care, but your comment is well placed. I was in a club in Ventura County that was a skateboard park and a club, and I'm loading some gear in, and I look at this poster, and it's got Channel 3, TSOL, GBH on it. I go, man, I'm glad you guys got all the old vintage posters. And he looks at me and goes, what are you talking about? I go, this show right here, Adolescence. He goes, no, that's next week.
Hey, if the Eagles can do a reunion tour, why not the Adolescents?
Why not?
Yeah. So did Rick Agnew, is he still around? Is he catching in on any of this?
I think he is, man. I'm Facebook friends with these guys. I think he is, but I saw Tony Cadena recently somewhere, a picture of him. Man, heroin's most people I know who have been junkies look great.
Because it's a preservative.
Preservative. There's something about it, but he did not look great.
Like he likes speedballs, maybe? Put some meth in there?
That's usually the case. When somebody looks like that, it's not just if it's a pure, straight heroin, no chaser, then they look great. But that meth destroys you,
Yeah, choose you right up. So Cote and Berkman, do you have a pick?
I got to go with Cote, man.
Really?
Yeah, I've been disappointed in Berkman.
How revved could you be about Josh Berkman? How could you be disappointed? I mean, you have to have it being invested in him to be disappointed.
I think I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Based on?
I don't know, man. I think I don't know. He was a tough guy, big guy. Wrestling was in the bona fides. I kind of liked him at a certain period of time,
Yeah, he was okay. But, I don't know. He came into the UFC not off a loss, but he lost his title to Steve Carl. So it's like, how great can he be? But, he did hang tough with Hector Lombard, I have to say.
Yep.
But then Stun Gun Kim pretty much just tooled him. So.
Hey, is Stun Gun on that reality show in Korea?
I don't know. This is news to me. Reality show in Korea with Stun Gun Kim.
They talk about some reality show with a MMA fighter, and I can't think of too many South Korean.
Are you sure it's not the Giant?
I don't know. The premise is these fathers have to spend 48 hours with their kids,
like nonstop.
Yeah, with no wives around. So apparently, this continuation of how funny the bumbling man is. It's like, give me a fucking break. Apparently, it's a huge hit because South Korean men are like, yeah, I go to leave for work at 7 and I can't leave before 10. But yeah, sure, I'll work 48 hours with my kids just so Korea can have a laugh at my expense. And then somebody talking about it said the thing that most enrages me, which is like, they're trying to assess a value to stay at homeitude. And I'm like, yeah, I understand it's super valuable, but you also understand that you are being paid. That,
by the roof over your head, the food in your mouth, that kind of.
Collectively, we have decided that we are going to be a corporation designed expressly for the purpose of raising these children. The vision of your job, this is your job, is to, you have chosen it. You could choose to work and I could stay at home, but your job is to take care of the domicile,
I see.
for which you are paid. Endless groceries.
So what about a cash allowance? Is that too much? Would that spoil?
If you have a common bank account, what constitutes a cash allowance? You got a joint bank account.
Let's see.
Use whatever you need. But we are two limbs on a body. It's not like my left hand's got to pay my right.
Islands in the stream.
Yeah. Okay.
As Kenny and Dolly sang.
Yeah. Right. So I just this whole oh, okay, I'm gonna cut my wife a paycheck. Yeah, and how many stay-at-home dads have been successful at going down that road? Come on, we're working together here.
I see.
Bullshit TV that we're gonna be on the opposite side. This battle of the sexes, bullshit TV.
I see.
Well, more divorces than anything.
Can't we all
doesn't get it? Oh, fuck you. I went to one of those birthing classes. I go, I don't want to go. I went through the stuff with my mother. I know about Lamaze, the breathing. I could teach the class. She goes, come on.
What do you mean you went through the stuff with your mother?
My mother was all into Lamaze. I'm 10 years older than my oldest sister. So I had, when I was 10 years old, I had to read the books. My mother wanted me, I'm a good man. She know this stuff. So the breathing, the intervals, all that stuff. She went into labor at the house. I had to wake up, and my stepfather was there, but we were all participating, right? So, my ex-wife, her first kid, was like, no, okay, you know it, but I want to know it, so we should go. And so we go, and the teacher at one point says, come on, man, act like you know something. And I just like threw my stuff down. I just stared at her for the rest of the like, you know. And I left that class that day, and I go, I am never going back, ever. That woman's horrible.
See, I had a baby sleep training book I once ripped in half in a fit of rage, but this
whole thing
fascist bullshit.
Okay, yeah, many men probably should, be diminished for being pricks, but there's some of us ignorant pricks, entitled ignorant pricks, but who don't truly get it. But that's not me.
I see. You also took umbrage once when I said I was babysitting my kids.
That's right. I flipped out, and I did an editorial on it. Right.
I find it a perfectly appropriate term, but I also like the term secretary. Secretary is good enough for Secretary of State.
You're a teenage girl accepting money for taking care of young children.
No, I'm watching the kids, babysitting. That's I'm sitting with the babies.
You are a father.
Well, the father doesn't always have sole responsibility for the kids.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying that I don't think there's anything offensive about the term babysitting. You know what I get upset about? The fucking Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Some versions, they will not say Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. They insist on saying Big Bear, Medium Bear, and Little Bear, as if there's something wrong with the nuclear family. And I think that's bullshit.
But I also, in terms of fairy tales, I want to go back to the German ones that were full, the German and French ones that were full of blood and terror.
Where they made her dance in red hot shoes until she died?
Shoes until her feet burned off, all that stuff. Yeah. Baba Yaga is one of the most terrifying ones ever. And the Russians didn't fuck around either. None of this modern day thing where, the Little Red Riding Hood. No, she had to be cut out of the wolf's stomach. That's what happened.
Yep, they still stick with that one. And I like the ones where the three little pigs, where the other two little pigs get eaten. I don't like the ones where they
get eaten. In reality,
So. And then the wolf gets eaten by the third little pig.
I don't remember that.
The third little pig heats up a pot of boiling water, and the wolf comes down the chimney. He takes the lid off, and then he falls in, and they cook him up and eat him.
I remember he fell in. I didn't remember there was cooking. Oh, see, there you go.
Lucy Cousins has a version where he cooks him up and eats him. So anyway, now moving along. So you're picking Cote. I got to pick Berkman. I think Cote is even more shot than Berkman, as little as I trust Berkman. Now we're at a fight. Welterweight. It was supposed to be Rick Story in there against Eric Silva, but now we've got Neil Magny. Neil, I can't believe I grappled with Demian Maia Magny.
Fool me once.
Indeed. Yeah, a 6-fight winning streak that I thought was bullshit for the first 3 fights. I got on board the hype train around 5 or 6, and he just went in there and made a fool of himself against Demian Maia. You could not fight a worse fight against Demian Maia.
You do realize that he was sitting at home thinking, like, I wonder what Nate's gonna. You know what? I'm gonna fuck him.
There's no way they're watching the show. I mean, we got 19 viewers on. I guarantee you none of them are UFC fighters right now.
Every single one of those is tweeting this shit to these guys. You kidding? That's how Mike Hogan got in trouble with that Eddie Alvarez blast on Knuckle Up. He thinks, I'll do Knuckle Up. Who the fuck listens to that show anyway? And he starts blasting Eddie Alvarez. He wakes up the next morning and goes, who the fuck died? His phone is blowing up. It was great.
So, Neil Magny, Eric Silva. Man, Silva's a gig, right?
Both of these guys are gigs. They've tried to nurse this guy's head along, Silva's head along. It's I'm gonna double down. I'm going for Magny.
Really?
And I will write this down.
I got to go with Silva, man. I hope he blasts Magny. And I don't know about what will happen. I just know what I hope happens. I cannot pick Magny to beat Silva because Silva, for all his faults, is fun and exciting. Whereas Magny, no matter how unreliable he is boring. Even losing to Maya, it was a fairly boring fight.
It was boring. The only thing that made it exciting was the staff that Maya brought to bear.
Afterwards, yeah, that was a nasty staph
rubbing
infection.
staph all up in his face.
Yuck. How many staph infections have you had?
I've had 0 staph infections.
Really? All these years of grappling and no staph? How'd you manage that?
Because I grapple with my fucking shirt on.
That's the whole secret. But what about your sleeves?
And a rash guard.
I see. And your legs?
I'm wearing one now, huh?
You wear it all the way?
Spats.
Spats, like Shinya Aoki over here.
Yeah,
well that's probably smart.
Saturday, I was rolling with some guy. Go, where the fuck is your shirt? He's like, where the best? Jesus, you know, I tried to roll with Scott Einstein Epstein, a 10th Planet guy. I go to take my shirt off because the same thing. I forgot to bring a shirt, and he's like, "Don't take that off." I go, "What? You want to roll with me with a button-down shirt?" He goes, "Take it off. I'll kill you." I said, "Hey, easy, buddy, easy."
Yeah. So you've avoided staph and ringworm?
I have.
Skin herpes?
Yep.
Wow. Oh.
I've not been so lucky with chlamydia, but that was a different story.
If you wrap up, that'll, you know.
Man, this was 1983, you know.
I see. Did you have symptoms? Because most guys don't.
Yeah. Well, you know, the woman had told me she had chlamydia. And so I said, okay, well, we won't have sex. But I ended up sleeping in her bed anyway.
I see. So you're going with the old cousin of the toilet seat thing.
Man, you hear that music?
Yeah, there's some weird noise going on. Are you punching the
I haven't moved. It's Django Reinhardt, though.
Huh.
Oh, it's my thing. Somehow the music turned down. Okay.
All right. I think you did touch the computer when you crossed your arms.
Yeah. So no, it was actually here's a fun fact for you. It was a girl. It did it again. I think the cable is doing it. It was a girlfriend of a much loved rock celebrity.
I see. And
who said to me before he left town, "Eugene, could you take care of Vivian?" And I go,
very generous.
Yeah, we're not staying the night. We're going to drive back to LA tonight. So if you could take care of her, that would be cool. And I start thinking he's talking code.
Take care of. Are you saying he was a conservative? Is that what you're saying?
I know he no longer speaks to me.
Because he didn't sleep with his girlfriend. He had her all infected with chlamydia for you and everything.
Well, that I tried and did it in his mind. The trying, who knows? But he's got a TV show now and a radio show and a column at the LA Weekly. So
I see. Well, it won't be hard to figure out who this is. But, you know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, Eugene. If you didn't sleep with her and it was offered to you, she probably hates you.
No. She didn't offer it. She said, "I've got chlamydia. We shouldn't do this."
I see. Well, maybe she wanted you to say, "I don't care. I want you so bad. I'll risk it."
No, I don't think she wanted that. I mean, we rolled around. See, I got this from frottage. New word of the day, kids.
It's frottage. It's not frottage.
Okay.
It's frottage.
Yeah, okay. You say it your way. And I'll say it my way.
You say tomato, you say tomato.
Frottage, kids.
Frottage. Anyway, so you're picking Magny, I'm picking Silva. That brings us to our headliner, Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira, featherweight fight. Big implications for the division, although neither of these guys are beating Conor McGregor or Jose Aldo, are they?
They're not.
Yeah.
But so I'm a Holloway guy.
You like Holloway over Del Bronx?
Yep.
Because?
He reminds me of who's the cat that I like a lot? The backyard fighter from Florida.
Kimbo? Oh no, George Masvidal.
Yeah. He reminds me of George Masvidal. I like his grappling. I just like his MMA, man. I like it. Just like it.
I see, because these guys could literally be facing the winner of Aldo McGregor, because Holloway's number 5, Oliveira's number 7. The other guys above him are Chad Mendez, Frankie Edgar, and Cub Swanson, and Ricardo Lamas. So Lamas has lost some fights, Edgar's obviously going to get the next shot, but these guys could have maybe one fight away from a title shot.
Yep.
So, but Oliveira to me, he's so well rounded. He's so explosive. Holloway to me is a little bit of a slow burn. I don't know. He won me over in his last fight though. That kid is pretty vicious. So you're picking Holloway. Now you lost. I see that you wrote it down, but now I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you quite well.
Okay, now your voice is back. Now, so were you miming and just showing me the written down?
No, I was saying I'm writing them down, but
all right. So, and there's Django back.
No, you know what it is? I finally realized I'm leaning against the on-off thing on the headphones.
I see. Well, stop it.
Yeah.
So
you could actually hear Django.
Yeah, I could hear Django. Diddly-diddly-dee.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that means if I put some porn on now, you could probably hear that too.
I would, and I'd prefer not to. So
this show has become kind of a drag to do. I used to be able to have the window open and watch the porn while I'm.
See, well, that's how I do the MMA vivisections on some of these cards. Just surfing through the porn, but
like when I used to run that porn review site, man, they said we'll give you $4,000 a month. I was like, hot dog, and a whole trunk full of porn. And he's like, you can pay your reviewers. I go, pay my reviewers? Yeah, I don't need reviewers. I'm going to review it all myself.
Now, were they actually checking up on it? Like, I mean, is there any, like, if you review porn badly, do people actually go, hey, man, you didn't watch this?
No, these companies all have PR people, man. They all care.
I know, but I mean, if you just say you watched it, like if you just look at the box and kind of guess, I mean, there's probably some penetration and,
you know what?
Semen.
If you are gonna give something a bad review, you're pretty much guaranteed that people are gonna pay attention.
But I mean, why give it a bad review? Why not just say, hey,
What I would say as the editor-in-chief of the site, what I would say is, before you give something a really bad review, understand that you're not writing a bad review for people who don't like, say, gay fetish porn, fart fetish porn. You're writing a review for people who do like gay fart fetish porn. So you judge it on the basis of a universe of gay fart fetish porn. I'm not saying, so if you say it sucks compared to other gay fart fetish porn films. Well, just don't say it sucks because I hate gay fetish porn. So, that I'm not cooking the books. I'm just saying, remember what you do.
So you couldn't just fake the reviews. You had to actually watch, or somebody had to watch every single one of these things.
If the reviewers dogged it, I don't know, but I would just open up a window and have it going, and I'd be doing a million other things, and I knew it was a good movie if I stopped and paid attention.
That's a good metric. My metric for movies is if I remember it afterwards, it's a pretty good movie.
If you're watching 16 straight hours of porn, you're not remembering shit.
Yeah.
All I remember is load, crying, end.
Crying.
Because that was right around the time Gonzo was big. So there was always like the Max Hardcore, like that 5% of Max, the whole school of Max Hardcore. So there's typically somebody crying.
Yeah, that was and just landed in a prison sentence. At least karmically. I don't know that he deserved to go to jail for what they actually.
He did. I told you I got to.
I mean, I think he deserved to go to jail. I just don't know that the actual charges of obscenity is what he deserved to go for.
No, I got to. I mean, you've heard my story about Max. I got a mixed history with the guy, but I mean, he also drugged and was drawn into court for drugging a friend of mine during a scene.
That is also should be a felony.
Yep, and she lost her case because the judge said, well, later you came back and you did the same scene with him, but not drugged. And she goes, what difference does that make? If my boss drugs me on Tuesday and doesn't drug me on Thursday, I think I've got a fucking grievance. But they didn't think so, and so they threw it out.
I got to disagree with the judge there, because like traumatized people do all kinds of fucked up shit.
Yep.
So you know.
Yep. And also, all she was asking for the tape to be pulled.
No, that would be reasonable. Yeah, I don't know. Sex crimes, horrible stuff. I want to plug a movie. Speaking of horrible stuff, The Look of Silence, which is the companion film to The Act of Killing about the Indonesian genocide. man, powerful, powerful movie, and hard to watch, but well worth it. And so I highly recommend that. That has stuck in my head. Some horrible shit in that movie.
The Look of Silence and the Act of Killing.
Yeah. Have you not seen The Act of Killing?
You know, on your recommend last time, I downloaded it from iTunes, and then I just didn't get around to watching it, and it fucking expired. So I need to go back in.
I would watch The Act of Killing first because it's an incredible, visionary, totally new form of documentary, but very powerful and disturbing. And
I would have said the 3 Oxbow documentaries are new forms of documentaries. But
which one? Do you have a preference among the 3 documentaries?
I would say, all of them are inadequate to the cause, I believe, but I would take the first one just because it
What's the title? You got to give titles.
Music for Adults.
Music for Adults. I've watched that one. That's the only one I watched. So
because that has me actually physically assaulting 2 audience members who well deserved it, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the hook. Like that's what even on Facebook, that's what people knew of you for when we started putting your stuff on Facebook. So
yeah, the over the hill jazz artist who plays shows in his underwear and chokes people. I love that. That was great, man.
I like that too. I thought you'd be pleased. My
favorite one is, who is this guy? You know, I love that one. This guy's a nobody. I said, yeah, nobody you're talking about.
And watching. Don't forget.
And watching, right.
So, anyway, so we will be back. I'll have the MMA vivisection for this tomorrow, and we'll have the 6th round. Zane will have the MMA prospectus. We'll have the 6th round after the fights. Knuckle up. We'll be back next Monday. Come hell or high water.
I'm going to double up. I'm going to do the Google Hangout to record it, and I'm going to record it with the fucking phone since I trust no one.
All right, so there you have it. We will get this done. Knuckle up will be back. So remember to follow us on Twitter @KidNate, @Eugene S. Robinson. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. That's spelled out DOTCOM. Give us 2 thumbs up. You came early on the thumbs up, Eugene.
No, I'm early and often with the birds. You know?
I see.
That's the Robinson way.
Well, wonderful. And read me at bloodyelbow.com. Read Eugene at Aussie.com. Sometimes Fightland's Vice's Fightland. Anything else I need to plug?
Nah, that's it. And those of you who've been ordering the fight book, good on you.
Well, yeah, and don't file share that stuff because Eugene has a sad.
If you can file share it, then you don't come to me. You know.
I see. So there you go. All right. So adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, Eugene. We'll see you next time.
All right, man. Later.